A beggar dies in the streets of Rome in the year 1783. He is filthy, has few possessions, and many think he was crazy. At first, people walk by without noticing. They are used to men like him being everywhere. But then, little by little, people start to find out there is more to this man than they realized. Once discovered, his true life and identity would leave them astonished. This is the incredible story of Benedict Joseph Labré. Rome, 1783. A woman walks through the city with her young son. The boy suddenly pulls away and runs ahead toward a man sitting near a church. "Come back," she calls, her voice tightening. "Don't go near him." The child hesitates, glancing once more toward the man, then returns to her side. She keeps him close as they pass. The man does not react. His clothes are filthy and worn through. His face is gaunt, his body frail. There's something about him that unsettles people. His appearance, his stillness, perhaps even the smell of poverty that clings to him. Most avoid him. Some think he is diseased. Others assume he has lost his mind. To nearly everyone, he is simply a beggar. For years, he has lived this way. He owns nothing. He depends entirely on what others choose to give him, and some days, no one gives him anything at all. He sleeps wherever he can, against walls, near ruins, outside churches. He speaks little. When he does, it's brief. One day, he enters the church of Santa Maria e Monti. He moves more slowly than usual. Those who notice him sense that something is wrong. He remains there for some time. Then he rises and makes his way outside. He does not get far. His strength gives out and he collapses. Those nearby gather. They lift him and carry him back into the church, laying him down. Someone tries to rouse him. Another looks for breath, for any sign of life. There are none. And so, there in the church, at the age of 35, it becomes clear. His earthly life has ended. Word spreads quickly. People come. At first, a few, then more. They gather around him, speaking quietly. Some recognize him. Others only know that he was always there, somewhere near the church, sitting, waiting. A silence settles. Then a man says, as if stating something already understood, "A saint has died." No one dismisses it. A woman adds softly, "He was here every day." Another says, "He never complained." There's a pause. Then someone says more firmly, "There was something about him." Others nod. Not loudly, not all at once, but with a kind of quiet certainty, as though each had seen something at different times in different ways and only now realize they had not imagined it. And for a moment, someone glances toward the door, as if remembering how even children, without hesitation, had drawn near to him. The man they had passed without notice was not simply a beggar. His name was Benedict Joseph Labré. From a young age, he had desired to give his life entirely to God. He studied under his uncle, a priest, and sought to enter religious life, but he did not seek what was easy. He presented himself to the most austere communities, those marked by silence, penance, and total separation from the world. Again and again, he was refused. He first tried to join the Trappist abbey, but was rejected on the grounds of being too young and too frail. He also sought admission to the Carthusians, an order so strict its members live in almost complete silence and contemplative prayer, fast frequently, and permanently abstain from meat. He was not prevented due to lack of desire or resolve, but because they felt he was simply not physically fit for that life. However, this did not deter him. He decided that if he could not join a monastery, the world would become his cloister. On foot, he crossed Europe, thousands of kilometers, traveling to places of prayer. Loreto Shrine, Assisi, France, Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and again to Rome. For the last 6 years of his life, he remained there. He owned almost nothing, wore the same clothes, ate only what was given to him, often just bread, water, and a few herbs. If he received more than he needed, he gave it away to those whom he believed were worse off than himself. He slept outside, endured hunger, cold, and exhaustion, and each day he returned to the church for hours in silence. To those who passed him, he appeared to be a man who had fallen into misery. In reality, he had freely embraced it. He had renounced not only possessions, but comfort, recognition, and security, choosing instead a life of voluntary poverty, penance, and continual prayer, in imitation of Christ, who had nowhere to lay his head. After his death, what had been hidden began to be seen. Those encounters, brief, ordinary, easily forgotten, now stood out with clarity. The way he looked at them, the way he received whatever came, the way he remained. Within a short time, the conviction spread. This man had been holy. In the months after his death, over 100 miracles were attributed to his intercession. What had been overlooked in life could no longer remain hidden. The man who appeared to possess nothing had in truth lived a life of radical detachment and total self-offering. What seemed like a life without direction was in reality a continual act of penance and union with God. What looked like abandonment was a hidden participation in the cross. A life poured out in sacrifice, humility, and love, ordered entirely towards God.